Right.
Another win is like I'm also my little brother is actually studying industrial engineering at San Jose State, and he's actually helping me with some of the stuff as well.
Okay.
He was looking for an internship for a while and stuff like that too. So, and he's a pretty sharp kid. So, he's in his sophomore year right now of
Okay.
college, but he's helping me with a lot of the build out of like the Neo stuff. The other part of
Got it.
the offer is like all the normal stuff, like reactivation for dormant clients.
Right.
Um, we talked about a website build out, but I don't think they say they don't need it now. Although, like if you look at their website, I mean, it's less than good,
Okay.
politically correctly speaking. But yeah, a few other things were like chatbot and trying to just automate as much manual tasks for the team as possible.
Okay. Got it. Cool. Let's see. I can share some of mine. Let's see. So, um, I'm onboarding three lead buddy accounts this week. That's two of them were actually from my BNI group, and then one of them was like someone I got introduced to like probably early December. Um, and so part of that was me doing like a not necessarily reactivation campaign, but just kind of hitting people up towards the end of December,
Hmm.
knowing that, okay, realistically, there's a lot of people that are probably going to push things off to the new year. And then as soon as the new year hit, they're kind of ready to flip the switch and get started.
Hmm.
So kind of planning for and accounting for that. And one thing that really helped was taking kind of a presumptive role, a sort of presumptive perspective when I sent the email out, where I think this is like December 20th or something. I sent out an email saying, "Hey, just wanted to check in towards the end of the year. Some of our clients have mentioned that their CPAs have said that it's better to just push through the marketing or at least pay for the marketing expense before the end of the year, so it counts towards your 2025 tax return.
Hmm.
That way, it helps with mitigating your tax liability. And then I just said, here's the invoice just in case you do want to get that taken care of, kind of making it seem like I'm doing them a favor by pushing it earlier on. And, you know, all of them ended up paying for it. One of them paid for it before the December 31st. The other two paid for it like January 1st or 2nd. But um, just something I wanted to highlight as far as kind of the language and approach to mention, like you can by all means just throw in a invoice link on a check-in email just saying like here's this in case you wanted to get started with it. And it so it's it works if you're positioning it properly.
Yeah, definitely.
So
That makes sense. How did
yeah,
you get
whatever
those clients?
friction you can. What was that?
How did you get those clients, by the way?
So two of them were BNI. It was just people within my group that I'd been talking about. Hold on one second. My headphones randomly disconnected.
No worries.
Um, sorry. Where is Okay. So yeah, two of them were BNI members. They have just been talking about Lead Buddy for a while, and they've promoted it to their own clients, and they finally decided, you know what, it probably makes sense for us to get started ourselves. Um, so yeah, one's a business coach, another one is a insurance or employee benefits and insurance broker. Um, And so they're already referral partners, and they just said, you know what, if I want to talk this up, it makes sense for me to use it myself. And then the other one is, how did I even meet her? Oh, she's a referral of a past virtual assistant client. So we originally, and I think actually I shared that call with you. So we started the conversation assuming that she wanted to possibly get a virtual assistant, but I'm like, was doing some digging on the call as far as what her tech stack looks like, and it was all over the place. And so I said, you know what, rather than starting with a more expensive service for a virtual assistant, I think it makes sense for you to build a foundation first from a tech standpoint, and then in month three, 2 or 3, once we have that in place, then we can put a virtual assistant in there to oversee that.
Got it.
So
This was the one, like the jewelry
yeah,
lady.
yeah, she has a jewelry business, and then she also wanted to start like a coaching or yeah, some kind of like creative coaching business.
That's right. Okay.
So
Cool, cool. That's
so yeah.
awesome, man. How many clients on average are you seeing now? Are you onboarding now these days?
Um, well, I kind of went through like a shedding process towards the end of last year, just offboarding a few that were like it was they weren't getting value from it, and or they were kind of more hassle than they were worth. And so um I kind of like lower dropped down to like 50. And then the last couple of weeks I've been onboarding like 1 or 2 a week. So
Wow, that's
yeah.
incredible. So you
Yeah.
got like
So
two to
I,
or four to six a month.
yeah, on average, I think like probably around five a month. So
Awesome, man.
yeah.
Great work.
Which kind of goes into the next part of the conversation I want to have as far as like where you're at right now, because I can't remember exactly how many you have onboarded. I know we obviously know Tailwag and Neo.
Uh-huh.
Was there one more that you had already brought on?
There was not. It was
Okay.
supposed to be my aunt's business, but we're not doing that anymore.
Okay. So you have two that will be on retainer, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Got it. And then anything else in the pipeline right now?
Nothing in the pipeline. I've been trying to, well, the idea, and especially, when we talked with Tailwag before, like they were very open to referring us to like people in her network, especially
Right.
like actually immigration lawyers in New York City, which is actually the target that I want to go towards. So,
Got it.
um, again, not in any rush right now. The other thing is like, yeah, I've been kind of going back and forth on this, but I think the vision that I have is I want to work with, you know, obviously higher ticket clients. So
Right.
like I'm in a position to say like no to a lot of projects as well. So, even if
Right.
I, get an attention of a client, it doesn't mean that I have to sign every single person.
Right.
And in the future, it's to like go even more up market, right? And then cater my messaging and my prospecting and advertisements if I do any of those, and my implementations to be very focused on one industry, one use
Right.
case. Um, but yeah, what was the initial question? I'm just rambling at this point.
Just kind of understanding where you're at right now. And so my next question was the main one, just with this being at the beginning of the year, what your 2026 goals are. Um, just so we can set that tone now at the beginning of the year and be able to kind of look back at the end, and also just like throughout the year, make sure that we're working towards that.
Totally.
So it could be either number of clients, it could be monthly recurring revenue, total revenue for the year.
hmm
You could, just list out whatever you want to hit and accomplish, so I can do
I
whatever
think
I can to help you get there.
my goal is very simple. I want one client that pays me 24K a year,
Okay.
just one. And that probably means that I have to sign a bunch before and do a few implementations, understand like the different use cases. Maybe even I had the idea of like interviewing other personal injury or immigration law firms and owners just to understand like what their common pain points are and like understand the workflow a little bit better. And then,
Right.
I can parlay that into a better offer that I can create and better messaging so that I can target this like handful, this small kind of like niche of customers where it's going to be higher ticket, right? And
Right.
I can generate hopefully more value than obviously what they're paying me. Um,
Right.
and that's the idea. So yeah,
Okay.
24K, one client. And it has to
Okay.
be for one client.
Got it. Okay.
What about you?
Um, yeah, so I kind of went through this exercise on New Year's Eve. Let's see, where are those goals? There's my Notion. Okay, so hold on one sec, sorry.
All good.
Yeah, so for Lead Buddy, I put 100 active SaaS clients. Um, Probably up that a little bit. I think maybe 125 or 150 probably, but I think a conservative estimate would be 100. 500K in revenue for Lead Buddy. Um, for CAS, I broke it up by business. And so for CAS, I wanted to get 10 active growth engine clients that are paying the 59.97 a month.
Hmm.
For Go Task Free, I put 50 active clients. I want to do a in-person event with our team in the Philippines. I've been working with them for 2 years.
Hmm.
Haven't met them in person. So one thing that kind of combines travel, business, all that stuff would be to be able to do an in-person event with the team there.
That's awesome.
Um, and then for this, the Agency Accelerator, I want to have 50 active agency affiliates, like people like yourself that are on the 497 plan. Because
Hmm.
that would allow me to hit the electric car bonus. Um, which they like I think I may have mentioned it to you, but they pay $750 a month towards an electric vehicle that you buy.
Right.
So, and that if I have the electric vehicle, I can either keep the car for myself and use it for just personal use. I also was thinking about just putting it on Turo, keeping it out in Jersey City or something, and just having it available whenever I wanted to use it or get out of here.
Right. I mean, that's probably like what you're gonna have to do anyways, right?
Yeah,
Because it doesn't make sense to have a car in Manhattan, I feel like.
yeah. I mean, it is like our like the Lower East Side, specifically like our neighborhood. There is a ton of parking availability, and like I see a lot of nice cars around here that like are parked without any issues. But
Mhm.
I think just to make it actually um, ROI positive, it would make sense to put it out in Turo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
those are the main goals. I think a lot of it's going to come down like being able to actually execute and accomplish. It's going to come down to a lot of content and getting myself comfortable on camera. Like I'm okay doing these kinds of scenarios, or but I get really self conscious as far as putting content um like that's prepared and polished, quote unquote.
Hmm.
I just like overthink it, so just trying to get out of that, get out of my head there.
Totally.
So
Makes sense.
yeah.
That'd be
Um,
huge. I mean, 500,000 a year is no joke. So I mean, if you could hit that, that'd be, I mean, we're definitely celebrating if you hit
yeah,
that.
definitely.
And
Yep.
I think you will too. Um, obviously I think you have the systems in place and the willpower and the ethic to do it. So um, yeah, I'll see you when you get there.
Sounds good. I mean, we'll be there together, right? So
Yeah, exactly. Um,
cool.
yeah, I mean, all around super exciting stuff. I mean, last year has been I'm very grateful for, everything last year for obviously like us, or you kind of like pushing me as well to start this. If we hadn't played volleyball that one day with the crew, then we would have never really had this conversation. Or I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe in the future, but yeah, that was in the summer, right?
not even summer. I want to say like September, October.
That was actually September, I think, like late September or October. Yeah, you're right. And we had a
Yeah,
couple of days there where it was like super warm and
yeah,
it was like 80 degrees. But
yeah.
anyways,
I will also throw in goals too. I think on the personal side, just because we've played soccer together, I definitely want to. I think we've talked about doing that more consistently.
Yeah,
I still haven't. I'm like not even at 30% of my back to my playing level that I was before injury.
yeah,
And it's just strictly been because like I've maybe play once and then I don't play for like a month or so, right? So
right.
I haven't been able to get that consistency back to even get like to a fraction of where what like the playing level I was at before.
No,
So
definitely that'd be fun. And I feel like soccer and just sports in general is kind of like a use it or lose it thing, especially at this
yeah,
age.
exactly. Yeah. And I'm definitely
Yeah.
at the not lost it yet, but like I need to get back in gear.
No,
So
man, you're still pretty good. It's just yeah, it's just a matter of like getting out there a lot more often.
yeah.
And yeah, I agree. I think personal goals as well. You know, I want to stay healthy. I think that's the main thing. Um, Healthy in body and mind, but
Yep.
also travel more. I mean, I
Yeah,
try,
that was my next thing here.
yeah.
Here, let me so for my travel, I want to do three new countries. I want to go to Old Trafford for a Man U game. Um yeah, so I don't know what you have on the docket there, but let me know.
That's sick. Yeah. I mean, I think I have so far Amsterdam and Paris already planned, and Austin, Texas.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
and then I'm actually going to California on Saturday as well. So that's a few places already.
Right.
And
Okay.
my wife's got actually a wedding on an island off the coast of France as well in the
Yeah.
summer. I'm not invited yet, but
Okay.
hopefully I can go to that as well. And yeah, I definitely want to go and do a surf trip and a spearfishing trip. I think those are the two things that I really, really want to do. And I think as far as like relationships too, I want to be a lot more intentional about the people that I spend my time with. I feel like I've
Right.
done that already, especially in the last year or so, or the latter half of the last year. Um, but yeah, I just want to continue to tend to those relationships and meet people like my friend that I met in Barcelona just last week or 2 weeks ago. Um, and yeah, like keep in touch with them, travel more, and hopefully have a place where I can like see myself living for 6 months to a year, come time, right? And hopefully this this business practice vector is a launching pad to do so because it'll grant me that freedom of location and time.
Yeah, that was the next thing on next set of like goals on the financial side. Was there anything that you want to be able to accomplish, like as far as being able to purchase, like investment wise, property wise, what have you?
Yeah, so I made I made quite a bit last year, um, through like my total income, and it was like half of it's going to taxes.
Yep.
And this year, I want to figure out or strategize a way that I can save on that because like it's not an insignificant amount, and I think that would launch me forward as well. I've looked into it a bunch, and I think real estate's the only way to do that. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, there are some expenses obviously with practice vector and stuff, but it's not nearly enough to offset my tax liability. So the only way to like do that as a real estate investment that has like positive cash flow so that I can make money while I save on taxes.
Right.
Um, but obviously it's easier said than done. If like everyone wants to do that, so it's there's a
Yeah.
lot of competition out there. But
So a couple things. Did you already set up your LLC?
I did.
Okay. Um, did I send you a link for that? I can't remember if I did.
You did actually. So I signed
Okay.
up with your link,
Okay.
got my LLC set up in Delaware back in
Nice. Okay.
October, and there's been a few trips actually that like a couple flights, like this flight right here, right? I'm going to see my aunt and do business there.
Yeah.
Uh,
There you go. It's a write off.
exactly. So I'm actually going to go to the office and like meet the coworkers and have an agenda and like all that kind of stuff too.
Right.
Um, so yeah, some of those things I can do, but I don't really have anybody to help me do that. Do you have a tax professional that does that for you?
Yeah, I have a CPA in my BNI group. I can make an intro to him. He's really good. He's been
Okay.
doing this for like 25, 30 years. So,
Wow. But I heard there's a difference between like CPAs and tax strategists, right?
uh, yes and no. I'd say tax strategist in general means that they typically don't have a CPA license. They are strictly like licensed to handle your tax return versus a CPA can do that, but they have more credentials to be able to figure out ways to mitigate that tax liability and incorporate that into a long-term plan for your business. So
Hmm.
they're the CPA is more credentialed. They can handle the tax return. They might charge a little bit more, but generally speaking, they think of they can look at things from a more holistic standpoint and figure out how that fits into your overall financial perspective versus I'd say tax strategist is more transactional and like okay, we're just trying to mitigate the tax liability this one year.
Got it. Yeah. Do you have any real estate as well, or do you have any plans to invest in real estate?
I don't have any right now. I think like this year would if I hit these goals, then that would kind of enable me to be able to actually make some investments there.
Got it.
But yeah, I think one of my goals is as far as like freedom of location from that perspective, I want to be bi-coastal, like spend more time in LA and have either something I purchase there or be able to afford apartments both here and LA. So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I got to look a little bit more into that this year. There was a period of time where I think I talked about this with you before. Like I was looking at some like commercial real estate properties and trying to figure out a way to get in that business or that line of business. But I went for practice vector instead. Maybe I can do both. So because for
Yeah,
practice vector, there's virtually no risk, right? I mean, I
right,
am paying for subscriptions and things like that, my time and stuff, but I don't have much capital risk. And
right.
so that allows me to open up myself for capital risk elsewhere where it makes sense. Um,
Right.
then real estate might be the way to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think there's a couple of people I could probably introduce you to, um, on the commercial side, just through people that I met in BNI or just other networking. Um,
I actually have a really good friend. I can introduce you to him as well if you're ever interested. But he's built, I think, like a $10 million portfolio from scratch.
oh wow,
He's literally like after he graduated, worked for Amazon for a year, determined that it wasn't his thing. He quit, raised money from friends and family, and was able to build a commercial real estate portfolio from like 2020 to now. Um,
wow,
and is killing it. So he's actually out in San Jose right now. Yeah,
okay,
but yeah, I'll let you know. Maybe I can talk to him again about it.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Cool. And so do you want me to introduce you to the CPA? Like, I think it could be worth a conversation on your end just
Y-
to see if
Yeah,
you could.
definitely. I mean, if it saves me money, that like 100%. How much are you paying your CPA?
Um, so I think well, for me, he handled what, 5 LLCs.
Yeah.
Um, and so total, I think it was 2,000 for the year.
Okay.
But I mean, had virtually no tax liability whatsoever, right? Whereas it probably would have been like a pretty hefty bill that he was able to save.
Yeah,
So
that's
definitely
amazing.
paid for itself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, please. I would love that intro.
Okay.
Especially for last year since the last 2 or 3 months I've started this business.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll call him after this and then loop you in on a email thread or WhatsApp thread, whichever one works better.
Sounds good, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else or any questions for me that I can answer or
I think that's pretty much it. Again, I think like a large emphasis on for myself, like on Tailwag going really well because
yeah.
it says a lot about my reputation and it'll open up a lot more doors for me, I think, if we can make this work.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like Symes seems like super on top of it. He seems like a great dev. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Really fortunate to have him. And I think just it took some time to kind of figure out a working flow, like a good workflow with him. But I think we've been able to like templatize a lot of it. And so he can just it's a rinse and repeat cycle. And he knows enough about those like edge cases and random scenarios that come up that better than I do. So
mhm. Would you recommend that I hire virtual assistants to do a similar th like run the implementations now, or would you recommend that I do it later after I've like done a few myself?
Um, I'd say the latter. I would say it makes more sense to handle a couple, like maybe using leveraging like Sime, like as my resource.
Hmm.
So it's no cost up front that you're throwing out, and it'll also give you a little bit of a ability to like learn on the fly, and
Hmm.
then once you have like maybe 4 or 5 clients on retainer and some cash flow to cover that, just so it's paying for itself.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds good.
just to like mitigate that risk.
I think when I also get to like a more niche use case, I'm gonna have to like do a few of those myself as well.
Yeah. Yep. And
Okay.
then so a couple of things, just things to kind of keep on your radar. Um, you may or may not want to implement some of these like sooner rather than later. The first one being, have I talked to you about Extendly?
You have.
Okay. So the first part is the support widget, which is the like the technical support that's 24/7, the chat. So that I would say you probably want to get started with as soon as it makes like as soon as you want, as soon as you can really. If you can now without any issues, that I think that's a good starting point.
Hmm.
Because then at least any user that comes on, they have a positive experience. They have live chat that's 24/7. They have all these help articles. And so that's going to alleviate a lot of your headaches as far as someone texting you at like 10 p.m. because their calendar isn't connecting properly, right? Instead of doing that, their first layer of defense is to go to Extendly's chat.
Right.
Um, and then, there's guided tours here and, all these different articles that they can reference that covers virtually any question that they'll want to go through.
Got it.
So that would be one of the first things I recommend doing as you scale. And let me pull up their pricing just so we can figure out when it would make sense for that.
Yeah, because it says right now it's 208 a month.
299, I think.
Okay. Oh, that's an annual. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, 300 a month
Yeah. And that gets you up to 10 clients. So,
clients. Yep.
if you want to wait until you hit 3 or 4, so that way there's some more revenue coming in to cover that, that's fine. But I think this would probably be one of the first investments I recommend you do
100%.
to, yeah, because this has saved me a lot of headache and it's just improved the customer experience and lowered my churn.
Amazing. Yeah, that's a good call.
So, and then they also have an onboarding service as well. It's pretty templated,
Hmm.
um, but they'll do it for 150 a setup. So that is a good option to have. Um, that's pretty low cost, and they bill after the implementation is done.
Yeah.
Um, so if you want to leverage that option as well. So
Got it.
they won't do a lot of the custom stuff that we're doing, like setting up the chatbot, setting up like automations and stuff like that. But they'll kind of just have the shell of the account set up, and connect a lot of the basic integrations like calendar, email, domain, stuff like that.
Got it. And then those snapshots as well. So like that's in practice vector, so I can just copy that same snapshot and use it for other customers as well, right?
Yeah, I loaded it into your account so that you can just copy and paste it and drop it into whatever new sub accounts you have coming in.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, of course. So, um, yeah, so I'd say at the very least the chat support for 299.
Hmm.
And then upgrading your GHL agency to the 497 plan whenever you have the clients to cover that so that you can go on SaaS mode and not have to be billing your customers by invoice.
Wait, sorry, say that again.
So here, let me pull up. So right now you are on this plan, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So with that, you have to manually create a sub account whenever it comes in. You have to manually invoice your clients each month to pay for the service. Um, Versus with this, there's a few other features that are unlocked, like SaaS mode, which is auto sub account creation. So someone could go to your website, purchase a plan, and then GHL would automatically create the sub account for them, send out the credentials. So you theoretically could have people buying subscriptions from you that you never interact with.
Okay.
Um, and then the second part is that you get to rebill. So for stuff like AI text, or sorry, AI voice, like phone calls, email, text, all of those carry a per usage cost. And on the 297 plan, you're paying for that, and you'd have to either eat that cost or invoice the customer separately.
Right, right.
Versus on the 497 plan, you can rebill and charge a margin markup so that you're actually profiting whenever your customers are using it.
Yeah.
So it becomes another like revenue source. So let me pull up mine. It's not like anything major, but if you're scaling up, it can turn into a pretty decent profit margin.
Yeah.
So hold on one sec. Let me pull up. So I have here, this is my rebilling segment. So my cost over the last 2 months or 3 months was 728, and then I brought in 945. So it was about $200 in profit margin from my customers using all of these features.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
And you could, you know, increase the margin because I have it set it pretty conservatively, so I'm not making a ton on that. But some clients really like some agencies really ramp it up and make a lot of money on that alone.
Got it.
So
Okay.
that's one of the features in there. And then also just the SaaS mode where you have hold on, where is it? SaaS configurator. Um so you have the tiered plans of okay, this is the basic lead buddy plan at 97, this is the pro plan at 197, and having each of these features, like these are the features that are enabled on each plan. Versus
Hmm.
right now on yours, on the 297 plan, you can only create sub accounts for clients and they have access to all the features. You don't have the ability to put them on plans and limit what features they get.
Right.
So
Right. Got it. Okay.
yeah, which is right here, the SaaS configurator.
Makes sense.
And then, you can charge for add-ons, like, okay, for ad manager, I want to charge, where's that? Reselling. So you can charge for add-on tools like SEO. High levels wholesales it for 79. You can sell it for 127 or whatever price point you want and see what the profit
Hmm.
margin is on each of these. So,
Got it.
um, yeah, and then the API too. There's a advanced API that isn't enabled on this plan.
Okay.
Yeah. So between this and Extendly, we're looking at what 497 plus 299, so
800.
796. Yeah, $800 basically. So, um, yeah, I think if we can get you up to those by like middle of February, like bring on the clients to cover that, that would be a good goal to hit
I
in
think so as
the
well. I have to change my messaging a little bit. And like right now, I need to focus on onboarding as many clients as possible. So, um, yeah, whatever it takes to do that. I think, even joining like a BNI group, like you had mentioned, because I haven't
yeah,
gotten any hits after that initial reach
after
out
the email.
response from Tailwag. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think find a BNI group that can join. Um and really like let's just say $1,000 is what you want to hit in the next couple of months or per month. That's 5 clients at 200 each.
Hmm.
Very attainable. So,
Yeah. No, for sure.
and I can show, let's see, this is um just to kind of give you a tangible value as far as what the value like of BNI membership is.
Mm.
Of course, if the system would load. Okay, so this is over the last 12 months what I've brought in just from BNI. So, and it costs less than 1,000.
Huh.
So,
That's amazing.
so yeah, basically, I mean, literally 100x return.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking good.
Um, did you go through like visiting any of those chapters or
I
the ones that we
didn't. I dropped it because I was just traveling so much for the last couple of months. I went to Korea, then to Europe. Um, and I was like, I want to do an in-person one. So I
right?
probably should get that started like now.
Yeah, I think January is a good time to do it. So,
Think so.